in terms of how far can he go, I saw a stupid comment of somebody saying, "Oh, 140 or 140, something like that." I was like, "Are you for real?"
This is Jonathan Aggie of Fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by trainer Dave Coldwell. Dave, just come off the bank holiday weekend, just telling me it's quite nice up in Sheffield and that area
Yeah,
right now.
we're having a good 20 minutes today. We've got a bit of sun. I can see a big fat grey cloud coming over, so that will probably time itself for when my little boy's got football training because it usually clouds over when he's
Mm.
training. So yeah, so I'm enjoying the 20 minutes that I've got now.
Got to make the most of it, eh? So Dave, talk to me first of all. I saw your Instagram, Hobi Price, back on the pads, back in training. I know he's had a hand injury, so it must be good to have him back in the groove.
Fantastic, mate. It's just he's still not able to hit the pads with two hands. He's on the foam sticks, but foam sticks is better than nothing. We're going to leave it at that for a couple of weeks, and then just gradually start with the pads. So yeah, it's good because he's been out for so long. It was a major hand surgery that he had to have. But yeah, he's back on track now, and he's feeling so much better about himself because he's you know it's like when you even when you touch him with the other hand, you just feel like you got two hands back. Just balances things up again. But his mentality and his focus has been fantastic throughout his layoff. Not not ballooned up in weight, not put on weight. You know, he's been in the gym doing everything he can apart from use the left hand, southpaw left hand. So yeah, I'm proud of the kid and looking forward to having him back and getting him back in the big fights.
So, do you know when maybe you can come back, or is it just still a case of sort of taking it
We're
slowly?
we're open for September, but obviously you got to take this step by step and make sure that nothing's rushed, everything's done right. But according to Mike Hayton, the surgeon, he's healing up very very nicely.
Okay, great. And recently announced that Stephen Kearns had signed with Queensberry. Yeah, just
Yeah.
talk to us about him. And did he have the fight on April 20th?
No, he didn't because Steve never gets ill. Like a machine, never gets ill, and came down with a really bad chest infection a couple of weeks before his fight, and it really knocked the shit out of him. Like
Mm.
he lost so much weight. Um, he's usually like he's the the muscle man of the gym, and he was just scrawny. Had no strength about him. Even when he come back and he felt great, he was just weak as piss. And his weight, he was eating loads, trying to bring his weight back up, but he was still like he literally lost about 4 kilos. So yeah, so I pulled him. You know, he could have gone in there and could he have gone in there and fought? Maybe, but you're rolling the dice with a kid that's 21 years old that doesn't need to, just because it's your there's the temptation. Oh, it's his first fight with Queensberry. And you can't pull out. But you got to think about it, this is a lot. It's a long term deal with Queensberry,
Mm.
and it's not just a one fight thing. Quite excited. Spoke to George a lot about him to get this done. We're excited about the opportunity for Stephen because he's an outstanding talent, but he's very very young, and they're on the same page in as far as development's concerned. And so yeah, it was an issue. It was like, okay, well, let us know when he's back healthy, then we'll get a date. He's back healthy, he's back in the gym now. I think it's second week back in the gym. So yeah, we've been given a date, so I can't really say it because it's not been announced yet. So we've got a date, and so we're back on track with Stephen.
Okay, good stuff. And Dan Toward, I watched him fight. I think it was in Bolton on a Wasserman show. Yeah, talk to us about him and his development.
Excited about Dan. He's a bit of a showman. You know what? He's the most down to earth kid away from the ring. He's the most down to earth sort of fellow you'd meet. A typical northeast, salt of the earth sort of fella. Put him
Mm.
in a ring, and the razzmatazz and the showman comes out of him. He's got great personality in there, but what a talent, fantastic talent. And 154 pounds, he's a real handful. And it's just been it's a case of him settling into the pro game, getting plenty of sparring with experienced professionals, and he's coming on fantastic development wise. Managed by Sam Jones. So Sam's got he's already got a date. I don't know if it's been announced yet. I can't remember, but he's got a date coming up as well. No, it's not been announced, but we're aware of it. Yeah, promoted by Wasserman and the Salons. So yeah, Channel 5 TV. He's got a great platform there to express himself and let that inner showman, go out there and do the business.
And are you working with anyone else at the minute? Are you looking to add anyone?
Yeah, I've got young Ellis Price as well.
Yeah.
Hobi's brother. He was literally 21 last week. He's just got his pro license, and I'm just sorting out a promotional deal for him. So looking forward to getting him going. He's completely different to Hobi, style wise, personality wise, everything. But he's very good. Different style, very good, and he's gonna be an exciting fighter to watch as well. Again,
Brilliant.
we're looking at him being a lightweight 135-pound fighter. So the spars in now, with Stephen and Ellis are fantastic. Then obviously, they've had some great experience. Ellis had some really good experience sparring with Joe Cordina a couple of weeks back down at Tony Sims' gym. Got a couple of days in there. Really good experience for him. Just things like that. These kids, the young kids. So I'm taking the time with them, developing them, taking them to school really, and getting them to increase the boxing IQ and just experience sharing the ring with good high level, fighters. Ellis, in fact, both Ellis and Stephen have been out to America with me already. Got some great sparring out there as well. So even though the young fighters, 21 years old, Stephen's 7-0, Ellis not yet to box, they're getting good experience under the belt already.
And are you looking to add anyone, or are you happy with the stable you've got?
I'm never one that's looking, but if the right one, approaches and the right one comes, then the same as anything, every fight that I've had, if it's a good fit, then I'll take somebody on. I've always said 5's my limit. I've got 4 fighters, so 5's my limit for full time. We don't do camps. We train all the way through, whether we've got a date or not. They'll have a fight, have a week or 2 off, and then back in. And so 5's my limit on that, and then maybe one more where it's just a case of camp to camp sort of thing. But yeah, I've got 4. I'm happy with my 4, and if anybody else comes, then so be it. If not, then I'm quite, I'm happy with what I've got.
Dave, just want to ask you about a lot of boxing over the last few days. Let's start with Canelo beating Jaime Munguia, dropped him and won on points. What did you make of his performance?
Do you know what? What a great few days it's been for boxing, and then we've got Lomachenko this weekend as well, isn't it?
Yep.
It's just at the moment, I just feel boxing's flying. Canelo Munguia was a fight that I was always looking forward to because styles. Munguia, if you've watched him throughout his career, he's exciting. He'll let his hands go and he's heavy-handed, and he leaves a lot of gaps. So he's always going to be tagged back. I thought defensively it was actually better against Canelo than what he has been previously. So you see the work that he's been doing with Freddie Roach. I know that's quite a recent link-up, and it seems to be working because I thought he boxed really well. Obviously he got tagged, and he showed a lot to come through that. But we all know he's tough. But I thought he put on a good performance. But I just thought Canelo's experience and his defensive skills, he's very subtle in what he does. But because his defense was so good, it looks like he's there to be hit. But he's just catching, riding shots and taking the sting out of him and making Munguia work and expand a lot of energy while he's looking at picking the shots to time him with. I thought Canelo boxed well. You got to remember, he's never been somebody that's kept up the work rate for 12 rounds, even in his younger years. You know, probably do 8 rounds and then start tailing off a little bit. But as he's got older, his work rate's got less and less and less. He's evolved as a fighter, more of a punch picker. But I feel as though in his more recent previous fights, he's loaded up a little bit too much. Whereas I thought against Munguia, his work rate was a little bit more than what it has been lately. I thought he boxed really well. But yeah, still, obviously where you think, oh, if you put the foot down, maybe can get Munguia out. But it's like he said in interviews afterwards, he's in against a young, dangerous fighter that can punch, and he boxed smart. He's learned off of people like Mayweather that he's been in the ring with. When he's in that situation now where when he's in control of a fight, does he need to roll the dice? Perhaps not, so he won't. And I thought it was a good performance. Like I said, you can say all you want, oh, he should put foot down, he should throw more punches. You're not going to get that at Canelo. That's not that kind of fighter. It's like when Mayweather stepped up through divisions and when he was younger, he was brutal. He'd go out there and stop people. And as he went through divisions, he'd always be settling for the points win. Fighters evolve, and as you get older, you will have to evolve. And he keeps on winning. And while he's around, we need to enjoy it because he's a huge name in the sport. He's a huge superstar. And I was just thinking to myself, like, after he goes, who's the man? Who's the one that'll really pack out places and get the numbers on TV, pay-per-view, whatever you want to do it on? Who's the man that's going to get those numbers consistently every fight? Bam, every fight. That excitement and people can't wait until he boxes. Who's that man? So fighters like that you need to enjoy while they're around, not just necessarily keep picking at him, for every little thing. That's his style. That's how he's going to be. So you either watch it or you don't. It's like when people used to moan about Mayweather. You should never tune into a Mayweather fight, or you shouldn't have ever tuned into a Mayweather fight as his career went on, looking for knockouts and stoppages. You tune into Mayweather to see a boxing clinic and see how he handled this fighter, that fighter. And it's the same as Canelo really now.
So in terms of, obviously there's talk about potential Terence Crawford fight. Benavidez was ringside. Who do you think he'll fight next? I mean, Belanga was there as well. And who would you want to see him fight next?
Belanga's nowhere near ready for Canelo. So I'd be disappointed if that fight got made. Everybody on the planet that is a boxing fan and knows boxing and the fighters involved in boxing that aren't quite the big star names yet, everybody will want to see the Benavidez fight. Whether or not that's the right fit for Canelo at this stage in his career, does that get made? I don't know. Terence Crawford, there's the intrigue there because you're looking at little old Crawford stepping up all the way up. How would he fare? His IQ, he's an unbelievable fighter. But is it a case of one of those where he goes up just, too many ways? With that in mind, you think, well, if he can nullify and negate the early part of Canelo's fight and output, Canelo settles a little bit, does he then come into it? And because that could play. I don't know. It's an intriguing fight, but you've got to say, Crawford coming up from those weight divisions to go up and fight Canelo, that's a massive ask. It really is a massive ask. But it's a fight that you'd want to watch, you'd want to see. So either of those two fights, really, for me. But I would like, personally, I would like the Benavidez fight because he's the young, hungry lion that's actually is a threat. That's that everybody kind of wants to see. He's got the tools, he's got the arsenal, he's got the size. So that's the fight I want to see, really.
And then yesterday lunchtime, Naoya Inoue
Yeah.
You've seen up close, been in the opposite corner to, had to get off the canvas to stop Luis Nery. What did you make of the fight? It was quite dramatic.
I thought it was brilliant. Do you know what? He's brilliant. He is absolutely brilliant. He so he come out in the first round. I was sat watching with my son, and the way that he come out and his first shot he throws this swinging right hand goes again. I thought, what's he doing? He's just loading up because in the build up to it, I mean, I did an interview. I don't know if it was a ring or, and I was talking about Nery. Nery's been around a long time. He's a good fighter, a very good fighter, and in his left hand, he's got power. You know, and he always likes to throw it looping, and he's a good fighter. So I never saw it as a walk in the park. I thought it was going to be it could be a tough fight, but I thought that the experience of the Ttard fight, where he was hurt and he had a real, the first Ttard fight, he had a real hard fight in that one, and I thought the experience of that would hold him instead for this, and he would end up stopping Nery, in 8 or so rounds. And that's what I'd said. But I didn't expect what happened in the first. I couldn't. He just loaded it, and I remember saying, it looks like it's as is the ego getting too big. The whole hype of the monster, this murderous puncher, and the razzmatazz and everything. Is it kind of getting him to? Because you can imagine it can do. He's not just a. It's not just a big name in a small pond. This is Japan, and he's a huge star. I think I saw somebody, can't remember who it was, that I usually like listening to, and I agree with a lot of this speaking. And they said that, he needs to go to America. I can't remember what it was. He needs to go to America to be a star. What? This kid's a star. It doesn't need to go anywhere. He's a star. And I think, the whole show and everything around the production, everything showed that last night, yesterday afternoon. But when he got dumped, I was like, wow, right, let's see. But remember, against Ttard, I think he broke his orbital bone or something like that. He had something, was either his orbital bone or his jaw he broke, and he fought through it. So that this kid is tough. He's not just an on-top sort of fighter. So he gets up, rides it out, and then he boxed. He came out second round, and he started using that, and because he's a very good boxer. He's not just a banger. This is why he's so good, because he can box, he can punch, he can counter punch. And you saw, as soon as he put his boxing head back on, levels, and the body shots were just wearing away at him at Nery, and then the finish was just stunning. I was really impressed. People like to, when a fighter gets dropped, people like, oh shit, he gets dropped. Oh, that's it. Listen, this is boxing. Anybody can get knocked down. Anybody. And that was a clean shot as he's throwing himself, and it puts him down, and he goes down quite heavy. But all great fighters, when they go down, they assess it, they get through it, and they make adjustments. And he made the adjustments. And then he was just in charge the rest of the fight, all the way through the rest of the fight. Brilliant performance, really impressed.
And a lot of the debate afterwards was 2 points. A, how far can he go up in weight? And B, is he the best fighter in the world? What do you think on both of those points?
I think you've got to say he is the number. Listen, pound for pound, it's mythical, it's opinion based. There's no way to say, oh, he is. It's just people's opinions. I'm a massive Crawford fan. I'm a big Inoue fan as well. You've got to look at what he's done from light flyweight, because he started in because super bantam, feather, they get a lot more attraction than what your light flyweight super flies get. So people are only kind of catching on to him now. But if you look at what he's done, his body of work throughout, and from, what was it, 6, 7 fights, something like that, maybe a little bit more when he became world champion first, I can't remember. And you look at the people on his resume that he's beaten, I would say, and it's the fashion of it, I would say I would lean towards him being pound for pound number one. I would. in terms of how far can he go, I saw a stupid comment of somebody saying, "Oh, 140 or 140, something like that." I was like, "Are you for real?" It's not about whether his power carries up; it's what he's going to get hit back with, and he's only a little guy, you know. So I think probably 126. I think 130 is a big stretch, huge stretch, because you talk about big guys at 130. So I would say maybe the last push would be 126. Let's see if he clears up 122. That'd be, sorry, yes, clear up one. I think 126, yeah, and see if he can get a world title at that. If he was to clear 126 up, that'd be incredible. But I do think that at 126, that'd be, if he was to win a world title at 126 against one of the top guys, that'd just further cement his legacy. That'd just be unbelievable.
Yeah, because a lot of people were talking or have been talking about the Tank fight, and I think Tank said the other day 130 potentially, but he's doubtful that that fight would happen.
Well, Tank's never going to make 130.
Hmm.
He's not going to make 130. And even if you do Inoue up at 130 against Tank, unless Tank's dead on the scales, Tank's knocking his spark out. Tank's not just a puncher. Tank's a good boxer, a very, very good elite boxer, intelligent fighter. You can't talk about things like that, because there's a reason why there are weight divisions. And when you're talking about such a big difference, look, listen, Nery's a good fighter and he can pop. Nery's just dropped him. Donaire hurt him. It's not like he's completely invincible, and if you hit him, he doesn't register. You're talking about these guys that are boxing at 130, 135, stupid talking about at 140, stupid talking about that. These guys are huge, dragging themselves down to these weights. Do you know what I mean? And they can punch at these weights. They can fight at these weights against this little guy, I can say little guy as many times as I want with Inoue because I'm the same size as him. So I can say that. But yeah, in real terms, I can't see that.